Welcome back. Well, she's opened for financial guru Susie Orman and delivered inspirational programs on communication, balance, sales, and negotiation to thousands of people at America's top Fortune 100 companies. Today, inspirational speaker Colette Carlson joins us to show you how to speak your truth. Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Appreciate it.
All right, so, it's somewhat self-explanatory, but what exactly are we talking about when we say speak your truth?
To me, it's when your thoughts, your words, and your actions are congruent. They're in alignment. They're one and the same. You're saying what you mean. You're meaning what you say without being mean.
There you go. And that's tough for a lot of people to do.
It is. It was tough for me. I had to learn how.
Yeah, because there's a lot of pleasers. There's a lot of people who say, we were talking in the hallway. Instead of saying, no thank you, they'll say no problem.
Exactly, and then not follow through and drive everybody a little nutty.
Right. All right, so what are the top 5 things people need to do in order to speak their truth?
Well, the first thing they need to do is be aware. Start to notice when they don't, when their mind, their mouth, and their emotions don't match. For example, women are constantly running around saying, I'm crazy busy. I have no time for myself.
Right.
I'm at the bottom of my totem pole. And yet, then they get the call to, volunteer at the church or school or, bake 75 cupcakes by tomorrow morning or take on another assignment. And to use your example, they find themselves saying no problem versus no thank you. They're not speaking their truth.
And, I remember, I was talking to a friend about a year ago, and I said, gosh, I'm just so busy, and I'm so stressed, I've got to do this, this, and this. And he said to me, you're putting this on yourself. You chose to do this, and it was kind of a, light bulb. I said, you're right. You're completely right.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, he helped me become aware. And then you say, and this is really important and tough for a lot of people, tell the truth on yourself.
Yeah, that's the second tip. You need to step into the truth booth and figure out what you're avoiding by not risking being real. So in other words, there's a payoff for not speaking your truth. People get to avoid disappointing someone or losing someone's approval or perhaps maintaining a certain self-image that they want everybody to have of them or simply getting out of their comfort zone. So you need to take a look at what you're avoiding, because look at that word avoid. That's what you end up creating inside when you don't speak your truth, and it chips away at your self-esteem, and you usually try to fill it up with something that doesn't serve you well.
And then you say trade in your self-image for self-acceptance. What do you mean?
Self-acceptance is key. You're never going to risk being real if you're not comfortable in your own skin, if you're running around trying to get everybody to like you. I teach this because I had to learn it, as I mentioned to you, Greg. So, I used to run around trying to get everybody to like me. And in fact, I tried to get people to like me I didn't even like. When you think about that, how nutty is it?
Yeah.
So,
and it happens all the time.
It happens all the time. Think about the people who are telling others that they watch a lot less TV than they really do, and they exercise a lot more than they really do. You see, they're caught up in a self-image of who they think they should be, rather than just being who they are.
Yeah, and love, kind of a Stuart Smalley type. Love yourself. You've got to be able to love yourself before other people can love you and accept you.
Ditto. Yes. Agreed.
All right. So, and then you say, be an ask master.
You bet. When we ask clearly and directly for what we want, we avoid manipulative behavior. And it's so much easier to tell people what we want rather than complain or try to be indirect. We all know these people. We've sat next to them. They're colleagues at work who, blah, 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 blah about something they're unhappy about, but have never asked the person that can actually make a difference for that change.
Right.
And when we ask, we need to put it in the positive to help people see what it is. For example, I have children, and when they were young, I was the only mother at the pool who was screaming, "Please walk," versus "Don't run." Or we'd walk into a store and I would say, "Use your eyes," versus "Don't touch." You see, when we ask, we need to ask for it in a positive way to help set ourselves up for success.
So be sensitive when you ask, but be strong and ask, instead of saying, that person does this or that person does that. You've got to have the strength to ask. And that is your next point. Say it with strength and sensitivity.
Yeah, that's step number 5. You don't need to take someone out to get what you want. You don't have to trample another person's feelings. In fact, I've met people who say, I speak my truth. Well, right then and there, I know that they're not doing it in the way I would recommend, because it requires leaving the other person's respect intact as well. So it's the difference between telling someone, you insensitive jerk, you forgot my birthday, versus really being emotionally vulnerable and speaking your truth, which is to say, when my birthday came and went and you didn't acknowledge me, I felt sad.
Right. Or instead of saying, you're lazy, and just say, could you please pick up your stuff?
Yeah, pick up your clothes before you go to school in the morning.
There you go.
And then if they don't, give them a big fat consequence.
Great information. And if people need to get a hold of you, Colette?
Speakyourtruth.com.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Colette Carlson.
So welcome.